Preppers Live, let's start this show.
Welcome, Wolfpack. Welcome. What is it? It's the 19th of November, 2024. That's how we do. With me, Drew, the Sigma Prepper. Thank you so very much, each and every one of you, for joining me right now. Thank you to everyone that joined me yesterday as well. We had a great show last night. Thank you to everybody who turned up for that. It was lovely to see you all. We got into all sorts of stuff, as we always do. A lot of people say to me, do you know what? I actually listened to your shows back twice, and I seem to learn something new that I missed the first time I watched it. There's so many quote-unquote gold nuggets in all your shows, and I just don't even know what I say half the time. This is why I don't like to watch my shows back, because it's so... I'll just cringe myself out. So, thank you so very much to everyone for bearing with me, being patient with me, and tolerating me. Love, peace, and progress to the pack. Don't forget, the official Sigma Prepper merch is available, as with everything else that's available over on the Discord server. So go and get yourself over there at some point in your lifetime. Thank you to all the people that have just recently joined. Osprey there, who's just joined us. Also, Type McCullough has joined us as well. And Marine Mark as well. Yeah, this is literally in the last couple of days. Mr. T, we had a great chat with Mr. T last night in the after party. The what? The after party. In the open voice chat, we had an after party. Usually it's only for the VIP Wolfpack, but leading up to Christmas, I thought we'll do some special, do loads of shows, get everyone together, have a good time. So that's the main hangout, but get yourself in there because there's loads of rooms of stuff. And we got quotes, we got memes, we got all sorts. Go and contribute. You got animal lovers as well. There's Hugo Bear with his tongue hanging out, look. And you know, we do actually have special guest Hugo Bear with us tonight. Here he is, look. Hello, baby boy. Oh, dear. So Hugo's with us in the house, which is good to see. So share your little ones. Old Scottish Prepper, great to see you in the chat tonight. He's Huskies there. Look, great to see people's pets. There's Purple Flurples. JD, his name is. 17 years old. So get yourself over there. It's a great place to make friends. But more importantly, check it all out at Prepping Into. Yeah, Prepper's Progress, your water storage and filtration. You've got food storage and things. I'm going to talk a little bit about water filtration tonight. I have got my prototype electronic water filter here, which is one of the most recent videos on my channel, which something I've been working on for the last couple of wild camps. I was going gravity fed, but now I'm going USB powered water pump fed. But I've got another water filter I've had for a long time, which I'm going to show you. And there's a potential problem with it, and we're going to talk about it amongst other things as well. We'll be talking about. So there's loads of rooms full of stuff. You've got breaking news here as well. If there's something going on, SHDF intels all categorized as well. Anything you want to talk about, get it in there, share it. Great place to be. But scroll all the way down here, you've got exclusive merch. Exclusive merch, as well as the lyrics that I came up with for the break time tune and the countdown tune, yeah, is in there. But then you got the Etsy merch store, look, and you got all the mugs here. So love to Mummy Mo and my dad, who got themselves the mug that I would like to get myself, which is the black official with the Sigma Wolf and the logo on the other side. The black one he's bought himself. Him and my Mummy Mo have got themselves out. So thank you to those that have gone in and grabbed yourself an official Sigma Prepper mug. I'm gonna have to put the prices up, funnily enough, in a couple of days. So get yourself in there while you can, because I'm getting shafted on the shipping. Cheers, everyone. Hugo Bear's waiting to see when he's going to be getting his little bit of you know what, which I won't say out loud. So he's got some and that's a massive lazy boy chair he's on. So he makes the chair look small. Anyway, thank you so much everyone for being with me. Let's check out and see what's going on. First in the house tonight, looks like it was... Actually, no, I need to change it from top chat to live chat for the live messages. Thank you everyone who's voted live in the poll. Don't forget, I've got 18 votes rocking. So it looks like a few people haven't done it yet. We've got a live poll. Tonight's live poll, I've actually posted that over on the Discord server for those that are watching this afterwards. And we'll post the results at the end as well. So on the main hangout here, you see I've just pasted in screenshot. What future tech concerns you the most? What future tech concerns you the most? Is it ruthless AI robot police officers? Or is it 24/7 AI mini drone surveillance buzzing about all over the place all the time? Out of those two, which one sounds like the biggest pain in the ass to you? Yeah, so let us know live in the poll. That's what we're asking tonight. We are going to talk about some robots and, AI, automation, how that's going to affect us, what can be leveraged for us as preppers and people who are interested in long-term survival and the ability to adapt in the face of big changing times, which we've got coming up. Of course, we've got all the stuff kicking off of Russia right now, Ukraine launching its long-range business, of which Russia did say yesterday, which I reported on the show yesterday, about how Russia had said that if Ukraine does any silly bidney, then Russia's going to be doing a quote-unquote tangible response, whatever that means. So it's all kicking off. And then there's stuff about cables being severed, communication, fibre optic cables being severed as well, and there's mud being slung about that. So it's all kicking off. There's more reasons than ever to be getting your stuff together and making sure you've made your preparations, because I don't want to say we're running out of time, because people say that every day, but we're definitely on the other side of peace at the moment, where it comes to natural disasters or the economy or the collapse of the Western Empire or the conflict in Ukraine and so on, right? There's so many things that can bite us, and you know what. Thank you, Laughs Me, for being in the chat. Great to catch up with you last night in the after party as well, my darling. Glad to hear things are okay with you. Sandy, there she is. Daily Survival, moderator of all moderator. Great to see you, my darling. Hope you're well. Daryl had Kel Horn. Haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Good to see you. The answer to the poll is both, isn't it? Which is exactly why I didn't give you that as a possibility option. Oh dear. Great to see you, Kaza. Scottish Prepper in the house. Great to see you, my man. Is it snowing where you are, Scottish Prepper? Let us know, Brian. Is it snowing? Because I've seen even people in Lincolnshire and the Midlands posting videos of it snowing in the UK. So I do actually have a full, which is part of, from my original prepping list, I've got like a winter prep list thing. And I was going to try and get it ready for today and talk about it on the show, because I've seen a lot of people already posting videos where their car has gone into some sort of a snowdrift and they're stuck there and they've got nothing in their car and they could be there for hours. So I do have already a list that I'd like to append, and I think I'm going to do that as a downloadable ebook list for people for winter. So I'll try and work on that in the next couple of days, get that out to you. Obviously, as usually, it will be launched off to the VIP Patreon crew first, and everybody else in the cheap seats we'll get it after. John C in the house. Great to see you, my man. Great to see you. Whiskey Jack J. Good evening. Who else we got rocking? Reminder, switch from top messages to live chat. Yeah. YouTube tends to automatically route out comments and things. Hey, Happy Limpet. Good to see you. Got the Super Sear Fire on this evening. Not turning that boiler on. I've got a onesie on. Yeah. I'm rocking with the onesie. I used to do something called Onesie Wednesday, and where we used to talk about preparedness and that, and it became a thing, right, where everybody had to wear a onesie, and if you were a guest coming on the show, you also had to wear a onesie, right? And so that was the rule. And so anytime we're doing now we're in winter time, I think anytime we're doing a campfire catch-up, it's got to be onesies. And I did have my camo onesie, but it was causing havoc with the camera, so I've just got a black hoodie bear onesie. I hope you're joining me with your fresh brew and your onesie to check out with Drew what's going on around the world, and ways that we can mitigate the things that are en route, and how we can make sure we're not leaving ourselves wide open for stuff. Let's just see who else we've got here. I don't want to miss anyone. Mark in the house. Great to see you, Mark. Russia put it into law today, Drew. What are they? They changed their trigger points. German Defense Minister came out tonight and said he assumes sabotage of data lines attract the ships. Yeah, it basically is kicking off, right? As Brian says there, Scottish Prepper. So thanks, my man. It's great to have you here. And again, I did say yesterday that I was planning to put a full show together to do with the whole Russia-Ukraine, because there's some underlying stuff going on as well, which I think is worthy of mention, which no one else needs to be talking about. But I've been a bit worried that I think the reason that people aren't talking about it, because if you do, you're probably going to get taken down. So I'm going through a little bit of self-censorship in a moment for people who know me from other channels and what I am able to talk about on that level. If you're asking yourself why I don't seem to be, and I'm taming things down at the moment, it's because, it's just the current climate we're in. Kelly in the house, great to see you, my lovely. Thank you for joining us. Is that 2 nights in a row? We should do the old thing where if you get 3 nights in a row, you get like a loyalty sticker. Yeah? Oh, damn. Don't forget to hit the like button. In it. Oh. Come on. Hit the like button. Cheers, everyone. Good shout, Sandy. Look how lazy Hugo Bear's looking. Oh dear, bless his cotton socks. Russia just put bomb shelters into mass. But yeah, I saw that video. There was one that actually over on the Discord server here. I think in the main hangout, was it? Yeah, Mr. T here. Look, this one here, the New York prepper. This guy here talks about what's going on with the Russia thing. It's a reasonably interesting video. But yeah, there's some other things as well that are happening behind the scenes, and I'm not overly worried, but I'm not worried. Of course, you have to be on some form of alert all of the time anyway, and of course where you've got this kicking off backwards and forwards, in some ways I see it more as just a desperate play by the left, you know, the Democrats with their warmongering. You know, you've got to do one last push because they know that their gravy train, yeah, the military industrial complex's gravy train is sort of coming to an end. Since when Trump was last in power, there were no new wars kicked off at all, which for the first time actually since I don't even know when, right? It was the first time in the presidency that there was no new wars kicked off. So what does that tell you already? And so they will suspect that will be the same here, and so there's 2 things going on there without getting into it, but getting into it, right, is that either 2 main options floating about is that either it's just a ruse to, well, I mean, obviously the Democrats are going to do everything they can to make it as difficult as possible for Trump to take over smoothly. If they can give him as many problems as possible to start his presidency off with, it gives the mainstream a big, you know, enough ammunition to set him up for failure like that, right? So there's the setting up to fail. Is always going to be a thing anyway. This is a bit of a radical way of doing that by kicking things off between Russia and Ukraine. And for those who don't know why I'm talking about that, it's because of the authorization to use long-range rockets and stuff from Ukraine to Russia, right? That's what's escalated it. And that was a decision by Biden or the administration, right, to do that. That was a choice, right? And they knew that would escalate it. So they have. So one theory is that, you know, as well as creating it a problem for Trump just to make his presidency more difficult and less successful, so that in contrast it doesn't make the Democrats look completely incompetent when Trump comes in and everything goes peaceful, everything goes great and the economy goes boom. It's not going to be a very good reflection on Democrats because it will be clear that they could have done all those things when they were in power and they didn't. So you've got the setting you up to fail, but then you've also got the there's like a caveat law when it comes to American political elections for the presidency, whereby if the country is in a state of active war, then theoretically elections and things like that and transitions of power can be suspended or held off in the interests of continuity of government during non-peacetime, if that makes sense. So the idea being is that that's how the Democrats will stay in power regardless of the vote, is that by there being an active war, than being active in the war, then it means that they're obviously going to suffer from, they can kick in the caveat that says that they can suspend elections or transitions of power and so on, right? So, you know, there's that. There's also the whole, you know, when someone loses a game, they just tip the board over and things like that, and by doing that it gives Raytheon, the Boeings and your Northrop Grummins and all the rest of it that just extra last booster sheets. Cha-ching. You got to give them the last. Come on, Biden, give us just give us a little something, man, just to give us a last boost of epic sheets for the military industrial complex before you go, dude. Come on, we're relying on you, man. So then Biden's like, whoosh. And now there's probably going to be justified like another $1 billion sent to Ukraine because, and now That's their last cha-ching. Because they know when Trump gets in, he's probably going to squash it all. Just a thought. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, and it's just me throwing stuff out there, yeah? By the way, I would say it's worth doing the notification bell when it comes to subscribing to this channel, because I noticed today YouTube had removed 9 subscribers. It usually removes 2 or 3 every day, which is so unlike any other channel that I've ever worked with. I've helped clients build YouTube channels in the past, so I know it's normal. So I would say if you click the notification bell, you're going to be one of the least likely people that are going to be unsubscribed unknowingly, which is what has been happening. And in fact, people have been saying to me as well, they've been going back to videos they've watched and liked, and the like has become unliked. So lots of shenanigans, so we just have to work through it the best we can. So I apologize to those people who have been unsubscribed unwillingly and unwittingly. It's not me doing it, believe me. I was so proud that you joined in the first place, but yeah, it's crazy. It's like, you know, 4 steps forward and 2 steps back on a daily basis. So, gotta look at him. He looks like he's fast to kip. Look, you right, baby boy? I feel like he might need to have some biscuit. He might need to come and have some biscuit in a minute. Frey Bentos for the win. So cheers everyone. Russia offering couples all sorts to promote getting their birth rate up. Even making mad passionate love on a sheepskin rug in front of an open fire, listening to the Top Gun soundtrack as well during your lunch break, I think was something that Putin was advocating in Russia, wasn't it? Get busy in your lunch break, basically. Bit of Kenny G, yeah? Bit of candles in the bath, some bubbles on your lunch break. Oh, suits you, sir. Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's better to do that to solve the population problem than it is what other countries, let's say in the West, are doing to sort the population decline out. So I think what we'll do is we're going to get into it and check out the quotes. So we got some new quotes, so thank you to those that have submitted the quotes on the Discord. So let's get into it. Sigma Mindset, let's get it done. Purple Flurple in the house. Great to see you, my darling. Sneaking in the back door. Oh, missus. Are you a Sigma type? That's what it's all about. Being independent, you know, self-reliant. Not wanting to alpha over people. Not wanting to beat or under people. You know what I mean? Just want to be off to the side. Do our own thing. Work on our own skills and knowledge and not have to rely on anyone else. That's kind of what makes someone's character a Sigma type versus an Alpha or Beta. So this is how we're rolling for our mindset quotes. Another one of my own quotes here that I like to start off with. Survival is not just about having a plan, but about having the wisdom to adapt when the plan fails. Bless his cotton socks, oh Hugo Bear. Survival is not just about having a plan, but about having the wisdom to adapt when the plan fails. Thank you to those that have sent in the quotes. Don't forget, you can do it yourself over on the Sigma Prep Discord server. Links in description. This is what it looks like. You're looking for the one with the brain icon kind of thing going there, is what you're looking for. So that's where you're going. So thank you to Daily Survival who sent this one in. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. What a name that is. Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr. Thank you, Daily Survival. Great quote. Third and finally, we don't know who this one's from, but it was sent to me by Sandy on the Discord server. And again, you can just literally copy and paste quotes you see as a JPEG or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just bang it in there. If I like it, we'll read it. Sandy, don't treat people as bad as they are, treat them as good as you are. Don't treat people as bad as they are, treat them as good as you are. And I say unknown here because when I researched who this quote was from, it was like, part of it's based on like Luke chapter 3 verse 61 or something like that, and then something else is something else out of something else, so it's like unknown. But you know what? There's another version of this, which is, which I think's fair enough, which is to say, treat somebody the very best you can when you first meet them, and then the second time you meet them, treat them the same as they treat you. Yeah? So when you first meet someone, treat them in like they're royalty, and then the second time you see them, treat them the way they treat you. You can pick yourself between those, but thank you so very much for sharing your favourite quotes. We have a separate section for memes, don't forget, so these are the quotes. So make sure you see the difference between two. It's got the brainy quotes. So thank you so very much to Sandy and Daily Survival for your quotes sent on the Discord server. So let's get back to base camp, back to the campfire to catch up. We're back. Hey, do you know what? It is really freezing cold here in the UK at the moment, I've got to say. It's like the properly wrong side of single figure temperatures, like 4 degrees centigrade, 3 degrees centigrade. So I've got to be careful not to be slipping over on the slope. So here's something to consider. If someone from 1980 suddenly woke up in 2024, what would surprise them the most? If someone someone from 1980 suddenly woke up in 2024, what would surprise them the most? Let us know in the live chat what you think about that one. So we're going to talk about a few things. We've got the vote running, the live poll running tonight, which we're asking the question, what future tech concerns you the most? In terms of, like, you know, totalitarianism type stuff, right? So we've got a choice between ruthless AI robot police officers or 24/7 AI mini drone surveillance, like little drones buzzing about, following you around and things like that and seeing what you're up to. And it's pretty close at the moment, so please do cast your vote yourself and have your voice heard. Yeah, you can also have your voice heard by clicking the like button. So thank you so very much to those who have. But yeah, the utter crap music, good one, Happy Limpet. Yeah, with twerking in the music videos. Yeah. Oh, Pat Riot, brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. 85 new genders. Look. Kelly says, I am from 1980 and I wake up in 2024 every morning. Isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, I was just saying the other day, actually, about how really, I was ranting, in fact, I think it was, about medieval times. Because, you know, you talk about progressives and conservatives. We were talking about Trump and all that. And I was just saying about progressives and conservatives being that, you know, there's a point in our history societally, yeah, where we needed to progress and to do things differently and better. In medieval times when, you know, it wasn't very civil. But I think we got to a peak where you then start degrading down in, you know, it's like a societal degradation or a societal atrophy. Societal atrophy or civilization atrophy, where it just starts, you know, civilized behavior starts going down the other side and then things start getting worse. The sad thing really from my rant was to suggest that really the 1990s and the late 1990s was probably about the peak of existence in this particular cycle of civilization, as there's been many before. I'm sure Egypt back in the day when it was just freshly brand new looked at business, and everyone thought it was brilliant then. But I think 1990 was probably, you know, the peak of where everything was cool. We had the benefit of the traditional stuff, plus we still had, you know, technology, and as much as the internet was just starting up and stuff. So at that point, everything seemed like it was great. We had the best of both worlds. You know, people could buy a house on a single person's wage still just about, and things like that. And it's been like a degradation since. So when it comes to things like, you know, this is where you need to then start becoming more conservative to conserve the old ways of doing things, because clearly it was better, because the way things are feeling right now, it doesn't feel better than it was in 1990 for those that were there for it, right? Or 1990s. So I think really, given the choice, 1990s is a pretty good era to be in, personally. And 80s was all right, but 90s we started getting the internet and technology and stuff, right? Is Debbie Sermon in the house? She is as well. Hello, my darling. Working like a pack horse donkey. Christmas is here as Posty, of course. So Debbie Sermon, she's like, she's in Scotland, but she's a post, not a postman, she's a postwoman. She's a post babe, yeah. And of course, Christmas time, you're carrying a big old bag at that point, aren't you? Yeah. Oh yeah, has anyone else watched the US Congress? UFO? Yeah. Do you know what? Tell you what. What I would say, right, is... Let me jump in there quickly. Let's just go here. What I would say is... Let's go over to the official Sigma Prepper website, sigmaprepper.com, right? If you go onto SHTF Intel, I need to update this actually. Because I think the last update I did on this was June 2024, right? So this is the global threat analysis, which shows all of the things that could possibly be getting us in the you-know-what, right? And you'll see here, Kelly, look, UFO and alien invasion is like the lowest chance of something that's going to cause us to have a prob, right? And you see it says here it's like more than 75%, right? It's basically inevitable. So we're talking things like food shortages, riots and civil unrest, global conflict, inflation, economic crisis, totalitarians at the top because it's already well in place. So the point I'm making, Kelly, is that UFO's right down the bottom here. And do you know what? After watching that thing, I think it still is. I think it still is. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing that came out of it if you weren't following. It's not really anything that anyone who kind of knows what they're talking about or knows about that stuff would already knows anyway, if you know what I mean. So it's very... It was one of them nothing burgers, and it felt like it was maybe this is supposed to be a distraction or something. But I agree, it was interesting, my darling. And you know what? I wish more than anyone else that aliens would come and zap us up, right? And take us to somewhere cool. I'm up for it. Let me know if you are. Which reminds me of a story I came across, actually, which I properly resonated with, which is this one here, look. This autistic man. And when I say I resonated with him, I mean, I have been called autistic many, many times. But I resonate with this so much for many reasons. Autistic man stranded on desert island asks rescue team for a couple more weeks. Isn't it? This is what I'm saying. If the aliens came down, I'm like, do it. Yeah, let's go. I got my bug out bag. Yeah. Bug out bag at the ready. Yeah, got my go bag. Let's do it. So anyway, this dude here. I'll read it. Look. An autistic man who became... This is a real story. An autistic man who became stranded on a desert island after a shipwreck has asked the search and rescue team who found him if they would mind fugging off again, reports have confirmed. Concerns have been growing for Eddie Albington, 45, ever since he was the only member of his crew not recovered within hours of the wreckage. But despite his family's fears, Albington was reportedly, quote, not just surviving, but thriving. It's because he was following Sigma Prepper. Rescue worker Greenheart 32 said, quote, he was looking like a little thin, but otherwise he seemed in weirdly good spirit. Now, see, if he'd been watching Sigma Prepper, he would have been eating more than squirrels on sticks and he wouldn't have been thin. But otherwise, he seemed in weirdly good spirits for someone who'd been isolated from society with seemingly no hope of return. We usually get the hero's welcome, Hart explained, but when Mr. Albington saw us, he responded, oh, for fuck's sake. Let me know if you're feeling it with that one. Hey, let me know if you're feeling it. Let me just get my things organised together. New subber, like the channel, hi all. Hey Pat, Lich, Love, peace, and progress to the pack and Pat. Cheers, my man. I'm honoured I've earned your subscription. I think Hugo... Oh, I'll keep doing that. We don't want that screen. We want this camera. Oh, I'm totally voting now. I wanted to give Hugo Bear some biscuit because he's going to feel tormented otherwise. Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad you like the show. I wasn't too... I didn't embarrass my Wolfpack crew too badly, did I? Over on the UK Urban Prepper channel. He's going to be coming on as a guest. I can't wait to have him on. And we'll have Brian on as well, the Yorkshire Prepper. I keep saying that. The Scottish Prepper come on as well. And the Yorkshire Prepper, he's in it. I don't know if he's in here tonight. Oh, we had a theory, didn't we? That if you mention people's screen names, then it sends them a notification out. So, Noelle Marie. Let's call out some names. Laughs-me. I think Laughs-me was already in here anyway. Connie R. Let's see if Connie R pops in. Ah, that would be a dream come true. Which one? I missed it. Oh, yes, you mean the Desert Island thing, Kazo, I think you're talking about. If so, yeah, totally. Thanks, my darling. What's not what you mean, Kelly? So I'll tell you something else I want to show you as well, because it's funny. I thought about this the other day, and I'm... Actually, no, let's not. Sorry, I've got myself twisted up with cables. 5 seconds. Don't know how that's happened. Get myself plugged back in again. Yeah, so first things first. I think we need to stop tormenting Hugo Bear, and he needs to have himself a bit of biscuit, look, because he's been waiting for ages. Do you want some biscuit, mister? Hugo want biscuit? Come on in. Do you want biscuit? Yum, yum. He's not looking that bothered, to be honest. Look. Look at his face. You're not bothered about some biscuit? No? Did it get poor? Good. There he is. He's had his little bit of biscuit, so I feel less guilty now. Don't forget, share your loved ones, your 4-legged or 2-legged or whatever no-legged creatures over on the Animal Lovers on the Discord server. Great place to make friends and share your bits and pieces. Share your guard dogs for prepping and survival. That's mine. That's my guard dog with his tongue hanging out. That's not going to scare anyone away, is it? Oh dear. So the other thing I want to talk about as well, which we might do in part 2. I live alone and have created my own desert island, says Kelly. Like it. Like it. Okay, if there's only one thing that you can choose, Kelly, that's missing from your desert island, what is it? If there was one thing missing from your own personal perfect desert island, what is it that's missing? Kenny's... What did I tell you? Oh no, sorry, you were already there, Connie, my darling. Great to see you, my lovely. Thinking of you. Sorry, just thinking of you. Thinking out loud of you. How are you over on the West Coast, my darling? I hope you're okay. Who else? It was Noelle Marie as well, I said the name of. So see if YouTube will send a notification out to Noelle Marie. And Urban Harvesting as well. Dark Meta in the house. Great to see you, my man. I hope you're well. Hope you're well. Dave K's with us as well. Not for me, this. What are you prepping for? Shortage of digital channel, late night talk show DJs. Little bit like that, yeah. We're prepping more for the reasons that we can't think of, Dave K, than for the reasons that we can. Yeah. Tell us what you're prepping for, Dave K. I have guard cats, says Kelly. Guard cats, like it. I was, but I wasn't near my phone, says Connie. Nelly on the land says, saw you on UK Prepper yesterday, giving you a go. Giving you a go. Great to see you. I saw your name yesterday. I'm sure you were with us yesterday, weren't you? Last night. Stormy, cloud, windy and wet. Do you know, I did mention you yesterday actually, Connie, because I was doing the weather and showing the weather that was coming in on the west coast of America. Looked like it was going to be quite leery. So, yeah, great to see everyone. Thank you for being with us. Just trying to make sure everything's okay this end. So, one thing I'm going to talk about, which I'm probably going to talk about in part 2, and amongst other stuff as well, because we need to be talking about AI, robots taking over the world, so many things that people want me to talk about, so we will. But there's this as well. Let me know if anyone's seen one of these before. Now, I've had this for a long, long time. In fact, so long, and there's no way I could afford to buy this now. I bought this back when I used to be rich. I've never been rich, but when I wasn't a complete pauper. But I was trying to look at the package of the box that it came in, because I was interested to see what the date on it was, because I'm pretty sure that it was quite a long time ago, and I've got a feeling that it's basically a water filter, and I've got a feeling that the date on it, in terms of how long you can keep the filter before it becomes gnarly, right? I've got a feeling it's out of date, but you can buy new filters because these are really expensive, right? So I'm going to have a look in the break time. I'll have a look and see if I can find the date as to when it came in. It is somewhere on it. And there's a little charcoal thing here as well that goes in the cap. And so ideally what I want to do is once I get some sheets coming in, thank you to Laughs Me, by the way, for your $10 donation last night, and UK Urban Prepper. What an absolute bunch of superstars. Things like that, right? I think I'm going to need to buy a new filter before I can actually use it for drinking water, but I'm really keen to do a review on it because they're really popular, even though they're not cheap. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on as well, and we're going to have a look inside it and see how... have you got one of you, Nelly on the land? Like that, the jerry can lifesaver. Should we see how much they are on Amazon? Oh, this will be a UK one, but jerry can lifesaver. I remember it being like Epic Sheets when I bought it, right? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so you're looking at £300. Yeah? You're talking about 300 sheets, man. Boom. Yeah. Look, you see 300 sheets. So, yeah, they're not cheap. So, obviously, I would never be able to afford to buy that now, but I've already got it. I've had it for years. I don't know how many years. I'll work that out in a minute and see if it's out of date, yeah? Because that is the perfect thing for bugging out. Is that the same thing that you've got there, Nelly on the land? Or not? Mine never worked. I've never tried mine. This is the problem. And I'm the one who's always telling people to make sure you test your equipment before it hits the fan. Because more for the reasons you can't think of than the reasons you can. What's up, mister? What is it? On guard. Where is it, baby? You okay? Did I get full? You alright? Bless his cotton socks. Don't know what he's whiffing at. We have to be on guard. Never know. Laughs me in the house. Oh, it uses pressure to force water through. If left, bacteria grows in the tubes. Yeah, mine was silly price, isn't it? It's about 350 sheets, I think, when I bought it. I reviewed mine and they didn't like it. It isn't cheap. It's no, not the charcoal filter, Kelly. There's something inside it as well that we'll look at. So when we will have a look, I'm just going to give you a rundown of what we're going to talk about when we come back to part 2, where we really start getting into it. And that's one of the things that we're going to look at. So and we'll see what we think, if it's worth that money or not, and I'll explain how it works. And in Wales, it's lovely to have you on board, Nelly. Natural water is iron rich. This block mine, that's interesting. The charcoal, yeah, I don't think the charcoal filter lasts quite as long, but save your thoughts, Nelly, until part 2, because we'll break it right down. The other thing as well I want to talk about is Rocco's Basilisk, because we're talking about AI robots and things like that a lot of people ask me to touch on. And it's getting close, because there's an awful lot of things that the technology, and of course people say I'm the guy to talk about it, since I am a robotic electronic engineer and built my own AI systems and brought products to market for clients, as well as my own things that are robotic and electronic in nature. So a lot of people are saying to me, come on, Andy, we need you to give it, break it down and tell us what's going on, and what can we expect, and what are we going to do in these things, like rolling out on the street like iRobot, right? And the technology is it's ramping up exponentially, right? This is like Moore's law, right? Moore's law being the thing where CPU speed doubles every year, I think it is. But they've made so much progress with, like, even the Tesla robot here, Optimus, which, when we're talking about jobs and the amount of automation, and Elon reckons that you'll be buying these things for 20-30 grand, dollars, so about £25,000 UK, which, to be honest, is means that it's accessible, because there'll be finance packages, you can imagine, what I mean? There'll be leasing options for like several $100s a month. And Elon Musk has talked about there being potentially 10 billion of these things at some point rocking about, which would mean there's more than one per person on the planet. But it would be more likely that you'd have certain businesses that would buy like 20 for themselves, just to do stuff like restock the shelves or basic stuff like that. So there's a lot coming for that. So part 2, we're going to look at the AI thing. We're going to look at the robot thing. We're going to look at the threats to people, the threats to jobs, the threat to the economy, where that leaves mankind, where that leaves us, and how things have become more and more difficult for preppers and people who want to survive outside the main system, off-grid, and so on, and some of the challenges that are going to lie ahead on that, right? So there are things that we need to talk about, however uncomfortable it is. So starting off, make sure you do vote in the live poll that we've got rocking tonight. What future tech concerns you the most? It's pretty close. Ruthless AI robot police officers, or we might as well be showing you on here, ruthless AI robot police officers, or 24/7 AI mini drone surveillance. Now, those two, because really they're the things that people talk about. So you got the idea of that movie with whatever his name is, which doesn't give you much to go on. What's that movie? And he's standing in line. He's got that thing that plugs into your back. It's like a suit, and then he goes up to the spaceship that's in space. Maximum points in the chat if someone knows what I'm chatting about. Yeah.
Critical alert. This is not.
We need everyone's attention. We need to figure out the film name. What is it? It's got Matey Boy in it. I know, I'm really sorry that doesn't give you much to go on, but maximum points in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. And it's the thing that straps to his back. It's like robot looking. And he has to get some sort of cancer. He gets shut inside some spray booth that's toxic, which gives him like some sort of cancer. And he's got to get to the main spaceship where they live like really cool up there. And they can fix him. Do you know what I'm talking about? But that film, Chaos in the House, is it Elysium, is it? I think that might be it. Yeah, what's the guy's name? Matt Damon. Brilliant. Thank you so very much for putting me on. Maximum points in the chat. Chaos. Great to see you, my man. Thank you for keeping it live in the Discord server as well. I really appreciate you being in there, man, and, you know, getting it filled. I'd suggest rainwater only. Yeah, I mean, I've got other forms of filtration. I've got a Berkey filter and stuff in the kitchen, which is just for everyday use and stuff. Thanks, Debbie. She was in there with it as well. I mean, this is a really good point, Purple Flow. I was tempted to say that myself, but now you said it, I'll say it too. Yeah, can you even trust rainwater anymore? But again, the rain is going into the lakes and into the ponds, which is the only other places we'd be getting it from anyway. So you kind of buggered either way, right? But this is why it's so important to have good filters, and the carbon filters as well can help where, like, you know, as I mentioned with my, like on here, the water storage filtration, this system here that we've got, was the point of this was to be, you know, you've got the Sawyer mini filter plus, what is wrong with this thing? Got the Sawyer filter plus you've got the carbon platypus filter as well, right? With the electric pump. And then this is the carbon filter. So this is like a double jobby. This is blocked, this one. It's still an alright flow, but this you could put your mouth under that and like drink it out, right? So you see I've just got a USB battery bank, and that's like it sucks it up from the lake, right? So go and watch that video if you haven't seen it. It's on my channel. But that's a different kind of thing. I've got a couple of those, you know, each one of family members of mine has got their own Sawyer mini filter for a start. So everyone's got their own individual filter as a backup. So I use mine on bushcraft camp and stuff like that, right? So then you got the more sizable version of that is the Lifesaver jerry can, right? But like I say, it was expensive. And I think it might have been, I think it was 10 years ago I bought that, and it's never been used. There's not been a drop of water ever been in that thing. It's been kept ready to rock for when it hits the fan. But now I'm worried that it's beyond its sell-by date, the filter inside, so I might need to buy a new one. But it's much cheaper than buying a whole new thing, because like I say, we just looked at it, it was like £300, which is like $350, $400. Have you had a look, Daily Survival, and see how much that is in America when you search for that Lifesaver jerry can? I think there's a slightly newer version, but then they still sell that version and nothing's really changed about it. What needs to be discovered is how to use chemicals to remove any airborne chemicals after rainfall. Yeah, it's not what you would call ideal. Please make sure you hit the like button as well, because I have a little sneaky bite of my biscuit, but I've got no tea to dunk it in. This is why we need to have a quick break so I can make myself some tea. And when we come back, we're going to get into Rocco's Basilisk. We'll see what that is when we come back, right? And we're going to have a few little, what do you call it? Thought experiments together, right? Someone from 1980 suddenly woke up in 2024. What was surprised them the most? We're asking that in the live chat as well tonight. And we've had some really good answers in there, like the music from the 80s. 8 years ditto, but if used, it will expand and crack in winter. Look, you see, I'm learning stuff already about it. This is what it's all about, right? So this is great. Thank you so much, Nelly on the land, for being with us. Because he happens to, again, or she, I don't know, happens to have used one of these filters already, and I never have. I bought it as a backup, emergency backup to use. But like I say, we've got Berkey filter as well. But I would always try and, whatever happens, you always want to try and get as clean a water as you can going into the filter to begin with, and it will last a lot longer. There are some complexities with that, as Nelly on the land said. Here where he is, the water's very iron rich, so that can cause a problem with the filters as well in a different way. So yeah, these are the sort of problems we need to solve, and I need to solve them now, which is why I dug that out of the cupboard when I thought about it just this morning, and I thought, wow, I forgot I had that, and they're so expensive to have it just stuck in a cupboard doing nothing. And to be honest, it'd be quite nice to take it to camp, and I'd like to do a review on it working, and we can see how well it works. And of course, don't forget, I've got my digital water meter, which I can use as well, so we can test the difference between that Lifesaver jerry can, my Berkey water filter, and my own wild camping bushcraft water filter that I take with me when I'm doing my wild camps, right? So I'm trying to solve each of the layers of the water filtration problem, and it is a problem because it's the first thing that's going to take you out, apart from 3 hours without oxygen, 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, but 3 days without water is the first thing we need to address in terms of our preparedness and our supplies. So it's worth talking about. We've talked about food storage. I talked about it on UK Urban Preppers channel as a guest. That was the topic of the show that I was invited on. So thank you again. I had a great time on there. So I think it's important that we address the water issue as well. And since I thought about this water filter this morning, I thought I've got to dig that out. I'm sure it was in the cupboard, and luckily it was in the first cupboard I thought it was in. So that was good. I'm not that disorganized. Lifesaver jerry can, $290. So it's about the same in dollars as it is pounds. You might does it look exactly the same as the one I showed you? Because there is a slightly different version. I'm not sure what the difference is. Matt Damon, says Kelly. Is that the thing? Is that the answer to the question I asked you earlier about your desert island? What's missing from it, if anything? Well, not if anything, you have to choose something. Is it Matt Damon, is it? Is that the answer? Oh, dear. I'm thinking of getting a water butt. Definitely do it, Kelly. Definitely do it. And they're so cheap as well. This is something that I talked about at great length with the advanced principles of prepping. I talked about that, and in terms of when you're prepping for a week, it's good to just, you know, have like 5-litre bottles of fresh drinking water. Just have one of those per day per person stored for your 1 week preps. But then when you want to go to 1 month, you're better off, as well as already having your 7 days worth of fresh water. That will take care of 90% of crises. But to have a water butt or two in the garden, I bought ones for like £40 for 210 litres, I think it was. 210 litres, £40, and just filled it up with tap water in the garden, right? I have the guttering, I can't get it to go in, but I just filled it up with tap water. So worst case scenario, there's 210 litres there already. So for you as an adult female, you need slightly less water than a male, be about 3.5 litres a day. So yeah, you got a fair old bit of time of drinking water and cooking with it and things like that with a water butt. So definitely do it, because again, as long as you've got a water filtration method, but it actually works out cheaper than buying bottled water. If you buy a water butt, fill it with tap water, and then just buy yourself a decent water filter jug. You can get the jugs on Amazon for about £30 that will do about a month's worth of water. So that's probably the best way to go about it. It looks the same. Thank you, Daily Survivor. Appreciate that. What do you think about it? No, don't tell me what you think about it. We're going to talk about it when we come back after the break. Noelle Marie in the house. I was calling your name out, Noelle Marie, to see if YouTube will send you a notification out. Yeah? Great to see you, my darling. So, let us know as well. We're going to be having a break shortly so I can make a new cup of tea. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about water filters, Noelle Marie, as well as AI and robots taking over the place. We've got so much interesting stuff coming up, so don't miss it. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. We haven't even, well, we have lit the candles and we have sat down to eat, but we haven't even really started yet. So, did I fabricate you here? Yeah, I summoned you. I summoned a few people. I tried summoning Connie R, but she was already in the background lurking. Yeah? You lurker, you. Great to see you all, but don't go anywhere because I'm not. We're just going to go and make ourselves a new brew. Look at Hugo Bear, he's like totally sparked out. There's a whole lot of feet you got going on there, Hugo. Look at all the feet. Yeah. He looks like he's got too many feet. Bless his cotton socks. We've got Hugo Bear in the house with me tonight, representing, so that's all good. Do we have Hugo Bear in? I think we do actually. Oh, this is the Howls and Growls segment. I totally forgot making this. Sorry, I forgot making this segment. I forgot it had a whole intro sequence to it. But anyway, yeah. Hugo Bear. He's got his own segment and everything, Hugo Bear, right? He's famous. Anyway, just thought I'd come in and say that. Right, back in a minute. So yeah, that's basically the Hows and Grouse Ask Me Anything segment, if you haven't seen that before. Oh dear, what are we doing? I think multiple gallon tubs are better than a water butt. Yes and no, I do agree, because you need, my advice is always that you would try and have them in containers that are carryable. I quite like the 35, the 30 to 40 litre sized containers. They're big enough to not be a pain in the arse and light enough to at least put in your car and stuff like that. But if you are homesteading, it is good to just have a good old barrel in the garden woomph. In addition to perhaps some 25 to 40 litre containers. Don't forget, each litre of water is 1 kilogram, so it adds up, right? So when we're talking 30 litre container, we are talking 30 kilograms, which is a fair old chunk of change. You're talking like, I don't know, 75 pounds or something. 80 pounds. If you're in old money. Cover crops, burn them, plant your crop, repeat. No, Marie's not going anywhere. What happens to those plants after long exposures to such chems? We're talking about chemicals in plants and things. That's another thing. I really want to get my microgreens up and running. I've got entire microgreens set up and stuff, and I did get a bunch of crops going just to sort of, for my own personal knowledge purposes, and to iron out some wrinkles. So I did really well with it. I had some really successful crops, and I had some great people following me here on the Sigma Prepper channel who had a lot of experience in growing microgreens. So I had one crop that I thought had gone wrong, but in fact the only thing wrong with my microgreens crop was the fact that I hadn't harvested it early enough. She was like, dude, you could have like harvested that like probably about 2 weeks ago. I'm like, really? She's like, really? I was like, oh, okay, so there's nothing wrong with it. No, it's fine, you just gotta hurry up and eat it earlier. So I just hadn't chopped it. But the thing I like about microgreens is the fact that when you combine that with things like your non-perishable tin stuff, you know, if you imagine you got just some pasta sauce in a tins things, you got some spaghetti as well that you make up, and then to be able to have some fresh microgreens with all the nutrients and vitamins and protein and fiber that are in the microgreens on the side of your plate as well every day, it's just nice to mix your, you know, your ready meals or, you know, your freeze-dried meals in with just some nice actual fresh produce. And of course, microgreens, you can get a harvest within about 2 or 3 weeks. I had them 2 or 3 weeks, so you can have them on rotation, and every week you've got a whole new couple of trays worth of microgreens to chop up, literally with scissors, like cress, mung beans and pea, and things like this. There's lots of different ones. Sunflower seeds, little shoots, and when you look at the actual content of grams of protein, fiber and things like this, it's quite impressive. It's like, wow, considering the amount of space, volumetric space and weight the seeds take up, what you get once it's planted and then harvested would be such a massive bag of leaves and lettuce or whatever and cress and things. It's quite impressive, right? So it's definitely worth thinking. I want to get mine back up and running because I'm keen to know if my seeds have gone badly out of date, because I've tried to store them correctly, but again, these are the sorts of things I need to test now, because if there's a problem with all my seeds, then there's another thing that I can't rely on. So I'm going to need to be seeing if I can get them to germinate. Oh yes, has anyone else tried the big bags you put in the bath? Do you know, my which I'll show you quickly before we let me just open up the book that I'm writing at the moment's got a thing in there to do with that, so it's just easier for me to show you what I came up with for that. Of course, I haven't finished my book yet. I've got one more chapter to get finished, and then it should be ready for rocking and rolling for everyone. You right, mister? What are you looking at? Yeah, he's putting his funny face. So, what are we looking for? Oh yes, water. This is there's the front cover. When SHDF, don't end up around a campfire eating squirrels on sticks. I And I'll be updating the names of the Patreon VIP members as well. So this will go live with the book release. It will have the names of the people who are the current supporters and Patreon in there as well. Actually, let me get down to where I need to go. Let's scoot down. It's just 300 pages big, so... But obviously I wrote it, so I know where every page is. But there's a whole thing about the water filtration stuff. Why is it taking so long to load? Let's see how everyone's alright in there. I have the bathtub water bob, they're great. Can quickly fill them, yeah. And it is something you need to do quite quickly when something happens because, you know, it will take a while. I'm just waiting for this PDF viewer to catch up with itself. I've just scrolled past like loads of pages of this. It's struggling. Come on. And we'll be doing a thank you Daily Survival, keeping the links flowing. You can join the VIP group for as little as like 10-15 cents a day or whatever it is, so it'd be a great way to support me. Thank you so very much, because I'm not monetized or anything on this channel as yet, so thank you to everyone helping me to grow the channel and sharing the videos and stuff like that with your friends and that. This is what I'm looking for. Sorry. So this is the water storage and filtration. So we've got a fundamental fact sheet here, which is just you know, stuff like how many activity versus consumption. Look, so if you're an adult female, you want to look at about, you know, 2.7 to 3.2 litres for sort of moderate to high activity per day. So it gives you information like that. And then we've got things like the safety range of the metrics for the water, about 6.5 to 8.5 pH, and things like how long you need to boil the water subject to your altitude, because the air pressures, you know, water boils at different temperatures at different altitudes, if you didn't know. So anyway, this was the concept I was telling you about. So like if you're doing for like 7 days, for example, you would have 5 litre, 1 gallon, those big ones, yeah. You're better off having 7 of them, store them somewhere anyway, right? So it's $40 basically for them. And then the 2 points, you see these 25 litre water containers. These are the ones I've got. Are they 25 litres? I thought they were more than that. Maybe they're 25 litres. So they're nice and carryable. So just a couple of them that, and you know, store water in it. That's good for a week's worth of water per person, right? And this is what you're talking about there, Kelly. The water bob bathtub storage. Water bob bathtub storage. They're $35 roughly. And then you've got here, one of my recommendations is as well for your family members, each of them to have one of these Sawyer mini filters or the like. You know, there's the Life Straw, and there's other branded ones, but the Platypus does one as well. But Sawyer's a good one. I like it, and I've used it myself on camp and drank water through it and tested it and stuff. So. And then you've got things like the AquaClean tabs, which I don't like as much. I'd rather have good filtration and good collection methods than rely on adding more chemicals to what chemicals are already in there. I just don't like it. But they are good to have if you are suspect of it and you're maybe not able to boil the water, as I would always try to do anyway, even after running them through my Sawyer mini filter, for example. I still boil the water I collect from the lake and filter it. I boil it in my Kelly kettle. So, and then again, just another recommendation here I have in the book for the digital water tester, which will measure the same as like I've got. Your TDS is the sort of impurities in the water, and things like that. Mine doesn't do salinity, actually. This one does, that I've got recommended here. It does salinity as well, so the saltiness of it. And then that goes on to other stuff. So that's basically just a couple of pages from a section of my book, which I haven't finished yet. So yeah, but that's kind of how it's going to roll. Let us know your thoughts live in the chat. It'd be good to get your feedback on it since it's not public yet. Should rename it to the Danger Bath Bob. Yeah, makes complete sense. Yeah, we've got one of my valued VIP member patrons is called Danger Bob. That's who we're talking about. Tight Hugo Bear. He is. I just said his name, which I think's just woken him up. Look. You right, mister? And then what he really wants is for when we go on break and I get to have my new cup of tea, which I'm going to race over there and make in a minute. What he likes is when I can dunk the cookies in the tea for him, and then he's right up for it. So we're going to be talking about AI taking over the world. We're going to be talking about robots taking over the world and what we can do about it as preppers and survivalists. And when things hit the fan, and it's, you know, WROL. So how much would a full bath of water last for one person? I'll tell you what, should we do that now before we go to break? I'll do that for you now, right? So average bathtub volume, 80 gallons, 300 litres. Let's wind it down to 250 litres. So you're talking about 10 days worth of water. Top of my head. Sorry, hold on, what am I talking about? Let me grab my calculator. So if we say 250 litres, we know you need about 3.5 a day. So we're talking about 71 days theoretically. So about 2 months. About 2 months of water if you were using it just for drinking, assuming your bathtub can fit 250 litres, and of course that would also assume your bath bob is also capable of holding the literage. I don't know if it says. Sorry, it's not a bath bob. It's called a water bob, isn't it? Sorry. Why is it doing water bob? Okay, here we go. So I mean, there's lots of different types of ones here. Look, and you see. Where's the official one? This is searching for water bob. Yeah. Water bob, here we go. Let's punch this open. Let's have a quick look for you. I'll tell you what it says 100, holds up to 100 gallons. Yeah. So that's even more. That's even more. Yeah. So you could be looking as much as maybe 400 litres or something. So 400 divided by, basically you need about 4 litres a day, girlfriend. So you're talking about 100 days worth of water in there for drinking water. So you can do some damage with it, as you've just found out, right? By filling your bath up. Happy Limpet's got some of them 25 litre ones. Are they 25 litre? They look the same as them, because they were the ones when I put my book together. That was like the ones I've got, and I think I've got 36 of those stacked up in rows of 2. And funnily enough, not all of them are full up. They're really cheap actually, Debbie, those digital water meters. Yeah. I mean, I got mine from AliExpress. Which, funny enough, I'm going to be doing a video using it very soon. From my water kit. This is my one, look. Which again we'll get into more when we come back from the break, but you see, and you've got your probes on the bottom with the different sensors that you dunk in the water, and it will give you a readout, and you just scroll through the different sensor readings that you want, right? So that's how that works. It's really cool. And it seems pretty consistent in terms of being a usable device to check your sort of level of water, which is always advised, which I did on my last camp, where I was showing my new water filtration pump system that I've designed, yeah. Oh, your internet just went down, my darling. Okay, thank you. We have live straws. You go, sounds like Kelly's on it as well, yeah. But I've gone with the what do you call it? What is it called? I've just shown it. It's soya mini filters. It's, yeah, all I could think of was Life Straw and Lifesaver jerry can, which I've got sitting down here. That's all I could think of. Which we're going to talk about when we come back after the break. So I'm going to go make some tea. Don't go anywhere because we've got so much. We haven't even scratched the surface yet, and we've got so much more to talk about. So really keen to get through it, and we've got so much to do. So don't go anywhere, but do go and make yourself a brew, and I shall see you back here in about.
Let's start this show.
Welcome back, Wolfpack. Welcome back. Ooh. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for those that stayed. Thank you for those that stayed. I'm Drew. This is the Single Prepper channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done already. Ah, dear. Just making sure everything's all good in the hood. Hugo Bear's happy, so I'm happy. There he is. You right, mister? Yeah, Mr. Flappy. Mr. Flappy is happy. So thank you everyone for being with us. A great conversations going on in the chat. We were just talking about water filtration before the break. We're talking about AI and robots taking over the world as well. We'll be discussing the Rocco's Basilisk and various other thought-provoking things to do with our future survival and the wider world out there. This is one of the questions we asked tonight. If someone from 1980 suddenly woke up, great English, in 2024, what would surprise them the most? So that's one of the questions we're asking. But we do have a live poll rocking in the chat. I have posted that over on the Sigma Prepper Discord server. You can go over there. It's free to get in. There are these VIP rooms here, which are private for the VIP Patreon supporters. From as little as 15 cents a day, I think it is, you can support the channel and help me keep coming back. But if you go on the main hangout, here is where we put stuff in. These are some of the new people that joined us. Welcome Osprey to the Discord server. Thanks for being part of the wolf pack. So what future tech concerns you the most is the live poll we've got tonight. What future tech concerns you the most? Is it the ruthless AI robot police officers like on Elysium? Thank you, Chaos and Debbie, for reminding me of the name of that movie before the break. Elysium, do you know when you just like there's no negotiating with them at all? It's like, no, that is what it is. It's like, get back in line. Butter the gun in your head, yeah. There's no talking them down. There's no fawn, yeah. Nothing. It's like, no, do what you want. Or is it 24/7 AI mini drone surveillance buzzing around all over the place all the time, day in, day out? Tell me which one concerns you the most. That's the live poll we got tonight in the live chat. So do take advantage of that. Make yourself heard. Please hit the like button if you haven't done already, because it's just so rude to not have. Let's face it. I do hope you've all managed to get yourselves a brew or some form of drink in the break time so that we can come back and toast to love, peace and progress to the wolf pack. Cheers everyone. And thank you to Mummy Mo and my daddy for your recent purchase and delivery and receipt and now constant permanent use of your new exclusive Sigma Prepper merch black mugs they've got. I'll show you how they look in a minute. They're beautiful. Cheers everyone. Love to you all. Yummy. Hugo Bear's going to get to have himself a little biscuit as well. So yeah, talking of the merch that I'm drinking out of, because I have to plug it because the prices are going to go up very soon, because they have to, not because I want them to, just because it's the way it is. So take advantage of the next 24 hours if you want. But if you click on this link here, you see you'll go to the Etsy store. There's about 30 different options on there. This is the one that, look, 5 people have this in their basket, look. And so here, this is the black one that my parents just got to support the channel, look. And apparently they're really nice and proper solid as well, like decent size. Now these are the large. What I've got here is basically the mega mug. This is the mega mug and this is the large. So this is 15 ounce, the black one. My one there's 20 ounce. 15 ounce is more like the large size that you would see in people's cupboards. But it's a beautiful looking, it's come out really nice as well. Thank you to Mummy Mo for sending me some photos of how they look. So really appreciate it. It's a beautiful mug. I'm really looking forward to, ideally I want to get myself one, but I can't afford it at the moment and all that. Maybe if I get a new couple of Patreon members, we'll be able to rock it out. Father No in the house. Just worked a 13-hour shift as a garbage priest. I'm too old to be working this. Ad for 22 an hour. Dear, oh dear, man. Cheers, Connie Pose. Cheers, Daily Survival. Both live polls, says Debbie. Plodding through the sludge on a daily basis. Oh, dear. Just trying to scroll up. Evening, my man. I'm in that method to only the one. So I'll tell you something else as well. Is we were talking about in the chat, I noticed during the break time people talking about the water that we were talking about and containers and things, and somebody asked about does water go off. Was it you, Kelly, asking about that? Water bags could easily fill via the shower if need be. I mean, the idea of those water bobs that we looked at that go in the bath to fill up with water is you'd fill them up on day one when as soon as they hit the fan from your bath tap, and then keep it in there, right? Still boil our rainwater. Whole house filter goes to 0.1 micron. Yet to get a UV bulb, which is better for more the virus side, the UV stuff. But what I would say in terms of storing your water, yeah, definitely get yourself a water tester. I just looked actually because Debbie was talking about them as well when she said, "Oh," and I said, "Oh, they're not too much money." Look, this is what we're talking about: 23 quid for this one. But if you go on AliExpress, you can get them for much cheaper. I've seen them for much less than that down here as well. Look, 19.99, 17.99, £20, 14.99, right, for the digital water testers. So it's worth having one of them because it's not a massive investment, but it's a massive downside and negative if you don't have one and you haven't tested your water and you think it's safe and it's not, and you realize the acid level's really high or something like that, or the total dissolvable solids in terms of the impurities in it can look clear, but in fact it can be full of stuff. Now there will be a certain amount of impurities in the water. That's what you call nutrients, right? So you don't necessarily want water to be zero total dissolvable solids reading, because you have to allow for the natural stuff in the water, the good stuff, right? So this was it. Purple Flurple of 80 litre water storage, 5 all full, were filled with bottled water. How long can I store safely though? So what I'd say about that, water can go upstairs and on the land, occasionally refill. What I do, a food grade container is good, but what you need to do, like in the book that I'm writing, which I showed earlier, a part of it, right? Where is it? It's back up here. So these white ones here is what I've got. We've got some of the just bottled water from a shop as well, but in the garage we've got several of these 25 litres filled up with just tap water or hose water, right? Now what I do is do you know those sterilizing tablets you get for like baby bottles and things, right? They're like about that big, and I think each tablet does about 10 litres of water or something like that. So what I do is I fill up this container with about maybe 5 litres of water, and I'll drop 1 or 2 of those sterilizing tablets in, yeah, and I'll do the cap up and I'll just shake it about and I'll leave it. And I'm a little bit OCD anyway, so I'll shake it up and I'll leave it so that it's like the water's all on the bottom square, and then I'll maybe like an hour later I'll shake it again and then rest it on the other side of it, so that basically that sterilizing solution is resting in place on all sides of the plastic all the way around over a couple of hours, and then I'll empty that out, but not feel like I want to totally empty it completely out. I might leave like a few teaspoonfuls of that left in there, and then I'll fill that whole 25 litres up with hose pipe. Now by doing that, you're essentially cleansing the internals of it. You're destroying any virus life that might have been in there or from the water that might be in the water going into it, and because the rest of it is sterilized, you've got less chance of any growth happening inside it. And of course stable temperature storage is important for water as well. You'll get expansion contraction going on, so don't fill the water right to the very brim, because you need to allow for the possibility of it freezing, which can expand and therefore cause your container's structure integrity to be compromised. Seems to take ages to say that. I wish I could just plug my brain into your brain with a fibre optic cable and just go. Prup. That's how long it would take. Just go. Prup. Speaking such a bottleneck, it's not even funny. So I do apologise. Get the water test. I had water in my boot of my car and black stuff was growing in it. What? Mind you, it wasn't sterile. BTL. Drew Kelly. We literally store all our water because we're off. Okay. Yeah. As Nelly here. And the other thing is you can add a small amount of bleach Yeah, you need clear, unscented, not thick bleach. Yeah. Oh, it even says it in my book, look. So you see here, I've included in here. So alternatively, you can simply fill two 25-litre 5-gallon food-grade containers with fresh drinking water. This is the largest recommended container that is still easy enough to carry, approximately 25 kilograms, 55 pounds when full. Consider you may need to move your water supply or even take it with you in an emergency. Use multiple smaller containers versus one big heavy one. So clean inside of your containers first with sterilizing solution or a solution of thin, clear, unscented bleach. Use 5 milliliters of bleach per 1,000 milliliters of fresh water. 1 liter of fresh water to rinse it out, right? So I have included that in there. But you can also include a small amount of bleach, yeah, a couple of milliliters in there, in it full, and that's totally fine to drink, yeah. It's like, you know, nothing. It's not going to kill you. But that's what I'm saying. Your bleach needs to be unscented, it needs to be clear, and it needs to be thin, not thick. So not thick, clear, not scented. I think that'll do, yeah. Ruthless AI cops for sure. Let's talk about that, Father No, because I think I agree with you because of that. You know, I think because you can't negotiate and you can't, there's no room for negotiation. I don't want to use that word, but you know what I mean? It's like that ruthlessness is already a problem in society right now. The way the police are just so robotic in the way that they handle people to a large degree. I don't know if it's their training that has changed or the people that they're selecting has changed or what. But so that being in robot forms or even worse because there's no emotion, there's no feeling guilty, there's no feeling sorry for someone or any of that stuff going on, right? They're just like bosh. Fill it with 25 litres, then chuck 5 capfuls of milk. Yeah, there you go. Sterilised, done without shaking about. So the Milton is what I'm talking about with the sterilising tablets. You get them, a similar thing. Little OCD, you. Only a little bit. Thank you for keeping the links flowing for the exclusive merch, Daily Survival. Appreciate it, my darling. Okay, so Happy Limpet did a similar thing. That's good to hear. Any parents with newborns should have plenty of Milton. Yeah. Eyes are closing. All right, my darling. Good luck. I'll be sending strength and resilience vibes to you, my Debbie Poos. Being a postie in Scotland as well. Have you got snow yet, my darling? I bet it's cold. Plus the Christmas post you're going to start be delivering as well. Loves with you, my darling. Yeah, Kaz is in there with a Milton alert. Robert McNamara in the house. How's your hunting trip going, man? Are you still there or are you home now? So good to see your name pop up, Robert. What a superstar. All right, my darling Debbie. I'll catch you a bit later on, my lovely. We'll have a one-to-one this week or sometimes as well, Debbie, if you're about, yeah? I'll hit you up on WhatsApp, girlfriend. And you, perps. We're way overdue a one-to-one and all. Hello, Batman. I was about the right same as you, Sandy. -5 degrees centigrade she's dealing with. What's that? Like 25 Fahrenheit or something? No snow, possibly Thursday. I've seen snow in Lancashire and the Midlands in the UK. So what I want to do is to, while we're talking about water stuff, and then we'll crack on with the AI and the robotic stuff, and then we'll decide what the vote's doing at the end. So while we're talking about water filters and things and water storage and filtration. So this is my jerry can, my Lifesaver jerry can. We just looked and they're about £300. And I've just looked at the invoice that's in the box that I found. I said in the break time I was going to have a look and see when I bought that. And it was actually 2013. It was you, Nelly, wasn't it? Who I don't know if it's male or female, Nelly. I do apologise. Nelly on the land. I've got a feeling it's a dude. I don't know. I think I made a... I don't know. No, wait. So, Nelly on the land, who has actually had experience with this jerry can Lifesaver, which is interesting, which I haven't, even though I've had it for more than 10 years. I've never used it because I wanted to keep it nice and fresh. Because when I looked in the instruction manual, you see, it said that once you've once you've unpacked the filter that's inside, because the filter that's inside is actually contained within a plastic bag. It's like it's sealed. This is it here, look. It's never been used. So this is the filter inside that I'm probably going to need to replace, because although it's been in here the whole time, when you buy them new, they come in a foil Mylar vacuum sealed pack, which obviously when you buy it new, it doesn't. Oh, that's that grease stuff, is it? That is. There's this like grease stuff I think supposed to be on that grommet. I wonder what that was. I thought, what's that weird Vaseline type stuff on the top there? Let's just smear it around that grommet. It's usually will protect the rubber. But again, because I've had this for so long and I haven't used it, I'm a little bit dubious about it, because you got the tap here with the spout. And so the idea of this thing is that you just putting it back together. There's a configuration here and there's a grommet that goes under there, right, and then it goes on. Yeah. And the filter's in here. And so the idea is, right, this is your tap here, you see? And this screws on here up against the water filter that's just in here, suspended, right? That's basically how that looks. So you do that up like that, right? And then you got your tap here to turn it on and off, right? You can put whatever on. But the idea with this is that rather than things like the Sawyer that's got the bag that you squeeze, or like I've done with the Gravity and the electric water pump using a USB battery bank, instead this uses pressure. So you've got like this on the other side, you see it's actually split in two halves, essentially. So you fill the water up in this side. Oh, you fill the water up on this side, sorry, yeah. The dirty water in here. So you take that out and you fill your dirty water up in there, right? You pop that in. And then you basically pump it up. Yeah. And it compresses this section here under pressure, which pushes it through that filter and out, right? So it's pretty quite convenient in as much as, you know, you haven't got to be sucking on stuff and all that. You know, you pump it up. That's the theory on it, right? But as you can see, that because it's been 11 years, this filter has just been sat in there. It hasn't even been in the foil, because they don't come in the foil when you first get them. When you buy a spare filter for this, it does. So one of my, because water's such an important prep and stuff, one of the things that I'm going to make sure the next prep that I need to update, because water's so important, is probably going to be a new filter for this, which I think is about £100 or something. For a spare filter that you can buy separately, right? So that's the idea with that. I'm home for a couple of days. My son harvested a perfect size spike buck. And you're going back again? It was a perfect shot, instant expire. Good man. That's what I like to hear. I won't grumble about my 2 degrees then. That's about what it is here. I was thinking about doing an after party over on the Discord server, which I've been doing recently and trying to keep it up. We have those over here on the main public lounge category, and you'll see down here you've got the open voice chat. Sometimes I do a walk in the woods with Hugo Bear and we go out. I do a walk in the woods with Hugo Bear and we go out for a little. He's looking at me now because he knows I'm talking about him. And do you want some biscuit, mister? Do you want some biscuit dunked in tea? Yeah? Tea and biscuit. Does Hugo want some tea and biscuit? Not sure, he's looking very tired tonight. Not going to force you, mister, if you're not into it. So, let's have a look and see what comments we've got to do with anything to do with water. Prepping legs today, squats, says Happy Limpet. Like it. I need to start doing some exercise as well, because I'm getting you know, I need to start doing some more cardio and things like that. I'm hoping we'll get some snow. The little tongue. So let's have a look then. Let me read you something, because if everyone's okay with the water container and storage and filtration side of stuff, I did want to just see if I can find a lifesaver spare filter, like a jerry can spare filter. I'm sure I had them in a watch list somewhere. Here we go. What the hell? Up to 20,000 litres it reckons. But you're talking £150. £150. You can buy a brand new one for 300, but for £150 it is just for the filter, a new filter to go inside. Do you know, they brought out the green one afterwards. You see the green one over on the left there? This green one? It's beautiful. I wish I'd had the olive green one, but they didn't have it back then. This is a new version, the green one you can choose. But you're at £314. But the individual filter looks like this, look. You see? You got this. It's like foil wraps, and it does say somewhere about how you can only keep it, its shelf life is only for a certain amount of time. So 5,300 gallons it can filter. I was just seeing if I could see. Oh, it says this cartridge is heat sealed in aluminium foil for an extended shelf life of 10 years. So because it says a shelf life of 10 years, and that's with it being sealed in the foil, because mine's just come in the filter unfoiled, right? I just don't feel that comfortable and confident with it. I don't know what you guys think, but... Is that Carolyn Rose in the house? Good day, my Australian mate. Great to see you, beautiful. What's the doomsday clock position these days? I think it's still the same as it was. Let's have a look. Current time. 90 seconds till midnight. They usually only update it once a year, is the thing with this though. I can't remember what time of year it is. It might be coming up soon actually. It's a good shout, Carolyn. Because I think it's coming up soon. Is it the new year or something? It doesn't say when it was last updated. It says here January 23rd, 2024. But yeah, it's difficult to see. But yeah, 90 seconds to midnight. You're right, Hugo Bear. Got water, just spilt water in there now. So let's see what people are saying in the chat. If no one's got anything to say about it. I've seen an Eastern way of filtering using successive barrels. What do you reckon, Nelly, though, in terms of that cartridge being so out of date? What are your thoughts on it? I mean, if it was like the difference between life and death and all I had was that lifesaver jerry can with that filter in it that's like 11 years old now. Daily Survival there. I have combi water filter, 2-stage filter, active carbon, ceramic. Interesting. Filter up to 13,000 gallons, 50,000 litres. Wow. Also 3 soya filters, 4 life straws, also 0 and clearly filter sis. We're all going round to Daily Survival's house for fresh water, basically, is what she's saying. I just had a bit of my tooth crack off. Only a small little bit, but I thought, I wonder they were saying... I thought there was something funny going on there. I'll tell you, that's the worrying thing with an SHTF scenario, let me say that right now, is having dental problems. Our dentist closed ages ago. So yeah, if shit hit the fan now and I've got this tooth at the back where there's a bit cracked off it a while ago, and now a little tiny little bit, you know, like a half a grape seed kind of size thing. It's like if it gets to the point where something comes off it and it's painful and it's hit the fan, that can be a real tricky problem in a survival situation when you got, like, you know, abscess in your tooth or something like that going on. So Nelly on the land, in terms of, we're going back to the lifesaver jerry can here, saying personally not using mine ever again. Do you think I should just eBay it then? Just eBay it. I fell back to sleep this morning, extra couple of hours. What's the weather like looking for you now, Karen? You're getting right into summertime now, aren't you, in Australia? I wouldn't risk it, says Kaza. Maybe just for demo. That's what I'm thinking though, Kaza. That was my idea, right? I thought if I can raise any money from either mug sales or, you know, donations or obviously Patreon VIP memberships, that is the next thing I would get, is a new filter. And then what it would allow me to do is then use the filter that's in there quite happily. And I'll test it, you know, I'll test it with my water meter. I can't understand why it would go out of date, and whether it's to do with things growing in it or something, or the breakdown of the material inside it over time, who knows. But you're right, that's the point. If I can have one that's in one of them silver foil packaging good for 10 years, I would just keep that to one side and I would use this one to learn, like Nelly on the land's done, like learn all the things not to do and how to store it properly and how to use it properly with that filter, and then I can whip it out when shit hits the fan and use the proper one, and I'm good to go. So that'd be, and obviously I'd video it all for you guys as well, right? Nice today, then a couple of hot days. Do you know what? I'll tell you what, Calvin, I really need to get out there and do another wild camp, right? With my camp set up, because I need to test my, what do you call it? I need to test my, I'm just getting into the can. I think there's actually a small little clip. I think there's a short clip in the beginning of, I think in here actually. Where you see, is this it? So here's my camp here, look, coming up. Is it when we come back in? You see, this is like my stealth wild camp location, right? And I've got my camo netting on it and all that, and my camo tarps. Don't I show my camp here somewhere? But I've got an under blanket for my hammock that I roll with. You see my hammock here is a DD Tarps camo hammock. XL one it is. And I've got an under blanket and I've never used it before. I've had it for about 3 years and I've never used it. Maybe 2 years I've had it. There's my gravity fed water filtration system on the tree there, look. So I need to do a wild camp around about this time of year, because about 0 degrees centigrade to 5 degrees centigrade is about right, I think. For my sleeping bag says 5 degrees comfort, 0 degrees extreme. So this is obviously from the PIR motion sensor security while solo camping video. I just wanted to show you the hammock there. So I do need to be doing another bushcraft, and it looked like this week, Thursday and Friday, looked like there's going to be quite sunny without rain. I don't mind anything else, I just can't be doing the rain. It's difficult to film when it's raining. So, but I just don't think I'm going to be ready to do it on Thursday. I just, yeah. So what I wanted to talk to you about as well is we were looking at the, and this is probably going to be more of a dedicated video that I do, but we were talking about the whole Elon Musk versus the robots with Optimus and things like that. I think it's already got it's already doing it. It's having a shit fit in it. Has it crashed? It's always that video player that crashes. She's grumpy. She's grumpy. Let's see what the... Please make sure you voted in the live poll as well. How many is it looking at? 32 votes is looking alright. It's reasonably close. It's really looking... So please do vote live. I'm just waiting for this thing to stop crashing. I don't think it's going to stop crashing. Here we go. Yeah. There's no point trying to do that. Once it gets to the point where it can't play the videos, it's just a pointless exercise at that point. So what I'll do then is I'll just give you a thing for some of you would have heard this before, because I talked about it on a previous show a long time ago. But I feel like it's more relevant now than it ever was before. Bless his cotton socks. Oh, sorry, I banged my elbow on the desk, which woke him up. But look how beautiful his face is. Isn't he the most handsomest boy you've ever seen? All 62 kilograms of him. All 130 pounds of him. He looks so small on that chair. You are Mr. Flapper. Hello, handsome. Oh, handsome. Right, so we've said hello to Hugo, he's happy. Snort. Right, so I wanted to share with you while we're talking about things like robots and things, and I will do a specific show to do with it. But it's annoying if I can't get the videos to play, which is kind of why I'll be doing a specific show to do with it. I will just try this one. See if it will let me. And don't forget, we will be having an after party as well in the Discord server where we can all hear each other and talk. And if you just want to listen with your mic muted, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Still dealing with black screens of death from the video. Oh no. We're in proper crash mode. Cheers everyone. Right. So this is here what I was talking about. I'm not going to be able to show all the videos I wanted to because it's getting well laggy for some reason. But how nasty is this? So this is them... I mean, this is like proper Ed 209, is it? Ed 209? 209? Looking? Do you know this thing's going to remember who these people are and come back for them when it's like super sentient AI? Which, funnily enough, does lead me to... It does lead me to the whole... The AI thing and the Rocco's Basilisk, which I'm gonna run by you, which is basically a thought experiment, yeah. But I wanted to show you a few more of these videos so you can see what we're up against, right? And see how close they are. It's just... This is like what China's working on, look, right? And, you know, when you start getting these armies of them, and you know, whatever they come up with for the military, they're going to be coming up with as like, you know, just police on the streets walking about, right? Like Elysium, we talked about earlier in part 1 of the show. And we talked about Elysium and that, right? Adaptive radar systems, look. So they're way ahead in the AI tech, China. Including their use of, you know, drone technology and robotics and things, and they're spending a lot of money on LLM training and things, like ChatGPT style stuff. They're way ahead, man, way ahead. If you look at the number, and you can tell when you look at the number of white papers, when you look at the number of patents logged within the AI industry, it's by far China over any other country. They're like way ahead of the game. Yeah, no messing about. And so one of the things that we're going to be dealing with is these progressive use of robots by private security firms patrolling buildings. I know, given the Tesla, I mean, people have seen my sentry turret that I'm bringing to life. It's a project I've worked on for quite a few years, actually, which started off as a robotic arm shoulder joint of my own design, and it became various other things, and now it's my Sigma Prepper sentry turret that will be sitting on the front lawn, watching people walk past the house and following them with paintball guns on the sides, if you know what I mean, right? But this is the sort of thing that we could have patrolling the streets at some point soon, right? Now, when I see this, I do think a nice old load of rope, throw a load of rope at that thing, I reckon that'll trip it up, it'll get himself tangled up. I've heard black paint with sand mixed in is pretty good for their sensors. I didn't tell you that. But this is the sort of thing, this isn't CGI, this is proper legit, right? I've seen the CGI ones, there's a lot of them, but this is more legit as the sort of capability of what we're dealing with. So there's no good like hiding upstairs because they can't get up the stairs anymore, right? We're way beyond that. And so these guys are pretty good, yeah? Like I say, you've got to be careful because there are quite a few of these that are CGI, where they're doing all sorts of mental stuff. But you can see the technology has advanced big time, and when they start loading them up with all sorts of offensive measures and things, right? Nelly on the land says, I would love to have AI that benefits me, but it's all very not Star Trek and more like Game of Thrones, isn't it? Bananand. Bananand B is how I'm going to say you. Bananand B, good to see your name in there again, my man. Or my woman, or my in-betweener, wherever you are. MQ9 Reapers and MQ1 Predators are now the only robots that do this well. Yeah, we got the whole drone tech coming as well in warfare. You can see that with Russia and Ukraine. There's loads of videos on TikTok of drone footage of how they're being used in modern day warfare. Scary stuff, right? Such a woolly woo. Yes, that's how I talk to dogs. I've missed loads of things here. I don't know what he was going about. Best old Hugo Bear. China. I think the current threatening combo is, can it identify targets? Can it lock onto targets? You get a laser geo so a weapon can be tasked and engaged precisely. Yeah, I mean, this is... And that leads to all sorts of things after that, right? But when it comes to... Oh, you see Robert there saying he saw a robot dog, one of those Boston Dynamics ones, patrolling Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Yeah, that was when there was another assassination attempt, wasn't it, or something? The idea that a unit will tend my crops is a good thing, but that seemingly won't happen. Well, I don't know. That is what Elon Musk's talking about, where he reckons there's going to be 10 billion of these Tesla robots walking about, and people, there'll be as much as a private car, you know, $20,000-$30,000 he reckons. Cheers, everyone. And so you'll send them down the shops to get stuff. You'll have it standing outside your front door with an AK or whatever you're going to use yours for, right? Or just as a worker in your warehouse or something. If you're a small business owner, I can imagine having those robots can be super useful, right? A cop AI that does not know the law only works for its program to ignore the courts. They're already talking about having digital courts now as well, and AI-driven court systems. So let's talk about Rocco's Basilisk, which is something that I was talked about several years ago when AI started becoming a thing. I've developed my own AI system in a hardware form, which is my own tactical intelligence assistant, is what it's called. Her name's Tia. I've shown it before. And that's still in proper raw prototype format, that is, but people have seen her rocking. But it basically looks after sensors and gives me alerts and things for things that are going on. Like you can see here, it's just in breadboard format at the moment, and the main processor is actually underneath this TFT touchscreen, the main processor that I program. And it's a good several million lines of code got into that, right? And it's bigger than that. There's lots of sensors that go with it that are wireless for bushcraft and camping and bugging out and stuff, right? So you'll see more of that. And the main unit is contained in a military pelly case. It looks like this. This is Pelly Storm case. And it's slightly modified. These are aluminium underplates that I've machined, which hold the brace inside that holds the lithium phosphate battery bank inside. I've got a couple of panels cut. I usually get stuff cut in this material that's all like foam type stuff on the CNC machine first, and then when it's proven I'll then get it done in black acrylic with all the mounting holes. So that's the main panel, but you can see there's a cage system that I've built inside here, which holds the main battery bank, which is sitting up there at the moment because I'm redoing one of the circuit board, the battery balance system for it. So anyway, and the main tier tactical intelligence system, which is like a mobile security system for shit hitting the fan, that'll be built into the main top panel. Yeah. And then in this panel here is a TV screen that will have wireless video camera security and stuff like that. And there's a few antennas that need to come off it because it also and it plugs into a ham radio so that she can give me alerts and notifications from a long way away via ham radio as well. So that's basically the idea of that. So anyway, with all that being said, so let's talk about Rocco's Basilisk, which is to do with AI taking over the world kind of a thing, which people worry about, you know. So let me read this to you. I got something prepared for you, so I could share it with you. So Rocco's Basilisk is a thought experiment originating from a post on the Less Wrong forum in 2010, exploring the ethical and philosophical implications of an advanced artificial intelligence AI. The basilisk, in this context, represents a hypothetical superintelligent AI that could punish individuals who did not actively work to help bring it into existence. So what it's saying here is that at the moment you've got ChatGPT, you've got Nexus robots, you've got from OpenAI, which again, as AI continues to develop and as it's version 3, version 4, version 8, and time goes on, the AI becomes more and more sophisticated over time. And of course, people worry that at some point in time, maybe AI will get to the point where it's able to take over everything. It becomes like AGM, you know, general intelligence, which is a different thing, AGI, yeah. Where it's able to do lots of different tasks and it's specialist in everything, right? And so when it gets to that point, it could decide that it wants to take revenge on the population that didn't help the AI to become AI. Now, if you think about it, once the AI is built, it needs to be maintained. It needs to be bettered. It needs people to work on it. The AI itself will understand that it needs people to work on it. And so what it may think to do is to punish those people who haven't helped the AI become the all-seeing eye, the all-in-power, taking over the world AI. It will look at the people over time that haven't helped it to get to where it became a thing. And so because it needs people to work on it and maintain it, it can do that as some form of a punishment that will act as a deterrent, yeah, for other people to say, shit, we better help it, this thing. We better work for it and work with it. Otherwise, like it's just done to a bunch of people where it's just basically cancelled their lives, you know, like out of nowhere, the way we couldn't even imagine it could, because it's super intelligent. Do you see? So the question is then, well then, do I then help it so that if it does become the all-powerful thing in the future, it's going to look back and reward me, or at least not punish me because I wasn't anti-AI or anti, do you see what I'm saying? And so equally, if you don't help it, and it then becomes itself anyway because it's just natural human expedition of adventure and discovery, right? We always want to try new things and more things, and if it gets to that anyway, then again we will regret having not been a part of helping it, because now we're going to get punished, you see. So that's the basilisk, that's the Rocco's Basilisk in a nutshell in terms of what the thought experiment is. But it underpins the worry that people have about how First of all, alignment is an issue. Alignment is where the thing isn't doing the thing that you thought it was going to do. It's not aligned with its instructions or your predicted outcome of what you wanted it to do. And there is a show I'm going to put together that talks about it in detail that you will understand why it's more of a threat than people think it is when we talk about alignment and things. Yeah, people already use autonomous drones for crop dusting stuff, and I was involved in drone development since 2006 before anyone knew drones were drones. It was like using RC helicopter tail booms and tail rotors with our own accelerometers, using it to do what you now see with DJI off the shelf 10 years after that, which was about 10 years ago now. So I've been heavily involved in the drone industry. I work for a lot of sub-military companies, so I've done work with things like the Border Force of Malaysia, with a drone they've got that goes around looking for people hunting, illegal hunting and things in the jungle, working on various bits and pieces. So when it comes to the poll that we've got going tonight, when things are like, ruthless AI robot police officers and the 24/7 AI mini drone surveillance, because of the work I've done in the drone industry over the years, I sort of have a big appreciation for how that can end up. And I think I'm less worried about the drone surveillance thing. I think it's more because you don't have to have necessarily interaction with that. It's like the robot police officers going around the street just bothering people all the time and wanting to search people all the time, or having its thermal cameras, and you just, do you know what I mean? I think that's what worries me the most. We've had 36 votes on the live poll tonight already. I do appreciate you joining in. Please hit the like button as well if you haven't done already. It's super, super rude not to have done. While I have a sip of my tea. Thank you, everybody. Quick peek at Hugo Bella. Oh, bless his cotton sacks. Oh, cool mind computer like Star Trek. Yeah. I'm a big Trekkie fan, actually, Nelly on the land, I must admit. And Data was one of my favourite characters. But that story, Basilisk, to me is like the king's new clothes. I don't believe in AI at all. And if it gets in my way, I will destroy it. Well, you see, the problem is that you can't really destroy it. You see, you're going to have to definitely, I am so going to have to do a show dedicated to AI taking over the world and why it's a problem. I've done an awful lot of work with AI safety and alignment problems, so I'm going to have a lot to say about it, right? And the reason why it's not just a case of like destroying it. It doesn't work like that. This is why I'm going to do a show dedicated about it. I'm probably not going to talk much more about it tonight because it's annoying already that I can't run the videos I was planning to run as well. So I'm going to do that as a proper slideshow, SHTF scenarios show that I do, dedicated to robots taking over the world, basically. And it'll be the whole thing. And we'll include things like ways to mitigate it, ways to get around it, ways to avoid it, and ways to protect yourself from it and stuff like that. Obviously, that's part of what we do. AI is a good thing. I mean, AI isn't a bad thing until it is, right? At the moment, it's a great tool to be used for people in work and in business and in life generally a lot of the time. I sent several pictures to Sigma Text. Oh, okay, brilliant, thanks. I wondered, I saw that there was some new additions over on the VIP. You put them in on the VIP chat, didn't you? I can see them here, look, waiting. Presents. So those who are VIP patrons get access to the VIP Wolf Pack where we have after parties. But leading up to Christmas, we're doing live open after parties. So if you can get yourself into the Discord server, it's completely free, and the link's in the description below. There's the main public lounge category, you see. Down the bottom, you've got open voice. So we're going to be in there. You'll see a bunch of us in there after the show. And you can come and join us and listen to what we're talking about. This is the exclusive merch one I'm on here. Have we had a new joiner? Yes, we have. Thank you so very much. We need to give it a love. Thank you so very much. Hello. Just finding my way around, says John. Great to see you. John Hayes joining us live in a Discord server. So, yeah, we had a great chat last night. We had CJ, I chatted to a couple of nights ago. I had a great conversation with CJ, one of our new thingy bobs. And then last night we had a great catch up with Mr. T, who was someone who found us from UK Urban Preppers channel, who I was a special guest on. Not special, I was just a guest on his channel earlier in the week. So thank you so much to the people that have subscribed to this channel recently. UK Urban Prepper, thank you for your donation yesterday, and Laughs Me as well. Thank you so much, my darling. Really appreciate each and every one of you. I feel my future is better protected by my AI friends. I like AI, but it will have to work for me. Yeah. Well, do you know, I think one of the problems that I can foresee, I mean, the dating industry has already kind of caused a big problem with male-female dynamics and relationships in the modern day. Youth is becoming more and more of a problem, right? And which is part of the reason why the standard of society is reducing in direct line with that, right? But I think what's going to cause a bigger problem is when you start seeing these sorts of things rolled out en masse. And for men and for women, I'm wondering how many people will opt for a robot girlfriend, a cybernetic girlfriend or whatever, versus a real one. And the same could be said for women who get themselves a Tesla robot and then go to Ann Summers and buy a strap-on and get busy. Who knows what could happen in the future, but there's all sorts of things that could diverge off from where we are here. We are literally at the cusp of explosions of things happening because of the explosion in AI technology becoming so much better each time. And it's like a compounding exponential effect, because every time it gets better, the way people use it become more creative, which results in more rapid prototyping and more rapid bringing things to market, which can accelerate those things even more. And so, you know, one of the concerns I have is obviously for things like employment, where automation with these robots you see being implemented instead of human labor. That's already happening with the AI from things like the, you know, front desk call inquiries is quite capable by AI now. 24/7, multiple calls simultaneously can be handled, and very convincing, all the way through to just automated back-end systems that reply to your customers' emails automatically by knowing already everything about your business. So that's another couple of staff members that you can let go and don't need anymore. Do you know what I mean? So this is going to start snowballing, and how that's going to affect the economy on top of what people are going to do with no employment and very limited number of options for employment. That's the bit that is going to be the cascading black swan overall poly crisis, as you know who would say, right? Catch you later, Nelly. Please join us again. Yeah, definitely. It's been lovely having you here, man. And thanks for your heads up with the water filter as well. And again, thank you so much to Pat as well. Reckon they got a few AI bots walking around the place already. Yeah. I broke my super coffee mug in the middle of the Missouri forest around a roaring campfire. No way, your Sigma Prepper one. Why, you're supposed to you're supposed to have the, you're not supposed to use that one. You've got, if you want to take it for camping, you've got the official Sigma Prepper stainless steel thermal mug. Or you've got the camping cup, official camping cup, Robert. I thought you were getting one of these. The metal ones to take on camp that you can put in the fire and stuff. These are the ones you want, look. These are beautiful. Yeah. And these are the ones like thermal mug and that, right? Learn more about this item. Premium stainless steel with vibrant Sigma Wolf logo, right? So, yeah, did you take your mega mug? Your official mega mug? But this is the one. I think you got one of these, didn't you, Robert? I'm not sure. This is the one I'm buying myself next, so I can be on rotation between my official mega mug, white one, 20 ounce, and this 15 ounce large mug. So, looking forward to that. So that's the image there, and then the logo on the front. So anyway, that's basically what we've got going on with that. And like I say, I'm going to have to increase the prices soon because it's like less than cost price plus shipping. So at the moment, I'm sort of somewhat paying people to have mugs, believe it or not, right? So I'm going to have to update the prices. I didn't want it to be a profit-making thing, but it's about $3 or $4 on there. But because there's some problems with some shipping, sometimes it can be negative $2. So I'm going to have to update the prices in a few days. So if anyone's hearing this and is in the mood and is being sneaky, now would be the time to jump in there before I change the prices. But catch you later, my darling Caroline. I hope all goes well for you in Australia, my darling, and I'll catch up with you later in the week, no doubt, on the next one. You see, Bananan B, people clearly look at government surveillance capabilities negatively, but there's a general understanding they couldn't possibly monitor everyone in detail. AI is assisting the government in this. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a good point. And it's something as well that I'm going to make sure I mention in the full show I do on the AI thing, because there's something else to do with that that's quite important, which is the fact that I'll very briefly touch on it now, but when it comes to what you're saying about the government surveillance part of it, AI was already, the speech recognition, once that was nailed down, you know, all of the cell companies, all of the telecommunication companies, you know, they keep recordings of every conversation for a certain amount of time, right? So they've already ran through all of that probably with the original AI they had as speech recognition to then turn that into transcripts. All voice communications gets turned into transcripts just because they take less file size to save, right? And then they can let AI loose on those transcripts to then look for certain keywords that come up regularly that are on the watch list and things like this, and it will automatically identify things that are worthy of further investigation. They'll go into a little pot. There'll be a more specific AI that will then look at those ones, and then out of those hundreds that are in that pot, there'll maybe be like 5 or 6 that get sent through to a human that looks at it and goes, oh yeah, fuck me, this is a bit dodgy, we need to have a look at this dude, or dudette, or dude in betweener, right? And so, but what's changed recently with the LLM type based AI systems is it understands nuances, it understands synonyms and things like this and code words. So it understands context so well that before, if people were talking in somewhat code, like I'll give you the example, you know, you'll hear people using the term unalived rather than dead because it's not a good word for the algorithm, right? There's certain keywords that just they don't like to push publicly in case the video gets watched by a child or something like that, and you're talking about nasty stuff. It's just not a good look. So generally you try and steer clear of certain things that you know they don't like you talking about, or words they don't like you using, like self-unaliving's one, things like that. And so what we do is we say things like unaliving, but obviously the AI isn't silly. The AI understands that unaliving in the context is the same as just saying the word dead. You see, or killed. So before, I'm using a silly example, but before people would use these types of code words, if you like, during their communications because it was easy for them to trick the AI that the governments were rolling with in terms of the way that they can churn through transcripts of calls and determine what the topic of conversation is there. But because the latest versions of even things like ChatGPT, you know, commercially available AI, yeah, not even governmental military style shit, but like just commercially available, is so good at understanding context, is so good at, it would know what you were talking about, even if you were trying to hide it and using a different, and swapping the words out and things because you were trying to trick the AI. Nowadays, that AI knows everything. It just gets it, man. It knows the context. It's going to figure it out. That's where things are changing incrementally but dramatically, because if they went back through all those transcripts they've got of all the phone calls that everyone's ever made, they'd probably get a whole new batch of people who belong in the tray that need to be looked at, right? If you know what I mean. Yeah. So that's how things are you know, increasing exponentially. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to call it, we've got 36 votes, it doesn't look like we're going to get any more than that, so we're going to call it on the poll tonight. And we've had 36 votes, which is a great result, so thank you to everybody who's contributed to that. Let's jump into the main hangout over there on a Discord server, where we're going to be very shortly here in the open voice chat, where we can talk to each other live about other stuff we can't talk about on YouTube, if you know what I mean. So final poll results. I've just done a screenshot, so I'm just going to paste that in there. And so this is how it's looking. It's basically, what future tech concerns you the most? And out of ruthless AI robot police officers and 24/7 AI mini drone surveillance, it's the mini drone surveillance that wins it but loses it, if you know what I mean. 61% people going for the drone surveillance being the thing that concerns them the most. So that's an interesting one. That's not the way I thought it was going to pan out. Roll up your sleeves. Pomegranate often means IDM for years was kept in literal code books, but yeah, like you're saying, processing software removes the need to. Yeah, it's pretty good at context, man. So you ain't getting around it by saying stuff like, "Oh, unalive" or whatever. But it is just a more polite term to use, that's sort of slightly less dramatic. I didn't break it, broken in. Yes, both of those. I'm confused now, Robert. I hope you haven't smudged your mug. I would cry if my official Sigma Prepper mug got smashed. Look at Hugo's eyes. Someone's dreaming. Oh, he looks a bit creepy, doesn't it, with his red eyes. You know, sometimes I'll touch his feet in a certain way and it will make him think he's doing something in his dream. You can see his feet going in. He's properly in dreamland, bless his cotton socks. Look at his little mouth going. Oh, I'm so glad we've had Hugo Bear in with us tonight. And Kelly's back just as we're rocking and rolling, girlfriend. We're just about to get into the after party over on the Discord server. Yeah, so we're going here onto the open voice chat and see how people are feeling about stuff. It's not too late here. It's only midnight, so we can stay in there for a bit. And catch up with fine people out there. So thank you to everybody, and really appreciate you joining with me today. I'm going to try and be doing consistent videos on this channel, and trying to get things rocking for Christmas, and try and build up the wolf pack. So please subscribe if you feel like I've earned your subscriptionship. Please hit the like button if you feel it's been good enough to like. I'm just making sure everything's running okay. Okay, cool. So in the meantime, isn't he a cutie? Dreaming of ducks in the pond. That is probably exactly what he's dreaming about, actually. He's doing a little cute snory thing. He's not doing anything active at the moment. But we're going to be rocking on the Discord server. Thank you to Daily Survival moderators keeping the links flowing tonight. Really appreciate it. I hope there's been something that you're able to take away from tonight's show in some way or another. So really appreciate you being with us. Love to each and every one of you. You've been absolutely wonderful. And I will be trying to even come back tomorrow and the next night. And the next night is the idea, as much as I can. So that's all I can promise. Please like it on the way if you haven't done already. I've been Drew, the Sigma Prepper, and you've been an absolute wonder bunch of people. So in the meantime, love, peace, and progress. To the pack.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.